We can combine functions by using the simple mathematical operations of addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Notation like this, f plus g of 2 simply means that we're going to find f of 2 and add it to g of 2. Okay, recall from the last video that if I'm looking for f of 2, then 2 goes in for x in the f function, So 2 squared plus 1 is equal to 5. So f of 2 is equal to 5. I'm going to replace the x in the g function with 2. So I have 2 squared plus 2 minus 4. Let's see, that is 4 plus 2 is 6 minus 4 is 2. So f plus g of 2 is equal to 7. Okay, f plus g of 2. We're going to follow the same process with subtraction. So let's do a subtraction. F minus g of negative 3. That is the same as finding f of negative 3 minus g of negative 3. Well, I come up here, and if I square negative 3, I get 9, plus 1 is 10. F of negative 3 is 10. I already know this is 9. That's 9. Plus negative 3 minus 4. 9 minus 3, or 9 plus negative 3 is 6. 6 minus 4 is 2. So this becomes 8. Okay? Let's do division. I'm going through these pretty quick because we just evaluated functions. Okay. This simply means f of 0 divided by g of 0. Putting 0 in for x right here, I get 0 squared plus 1. That's equal to 1. And putting 0 in for x here and here, that is 0 plus 0 minus 4. That's negative 4. So this final answer is negative 1/4. Okay? So now then, let's do one final operation over here with numbers. That would be multiplication. Okay. Remember, when a letter is touching another letter, that means multiplication. So this right here simply means f of 1 times g of 1. Okay? If I put 1 in for f, 1 squared is 1, plus 1 is 2, so this is 2. Putting 1 in for this function right here and right here. 1 squared is 1, plus 1 is 2, minus 4 is negative 2. So 2 times negative 2, last I checked, that was negative 4. Okay. There is combining functions when we know a numeric value for x. But it's pre-cal, so sometimes we don't use just numbers. So let's look at a different scenario here. This right here, come on. F plus g of x simply means that I'm going to take f of x and add it to g of x. Okay? So f of x is equal to x squared plus 1. Okay? Plus g of x is x squared plus x minus 4. Since this is addition, we really don't need these parentheses. Remember that it's that subtraction that you have to be careful of. Okay, combining like terms. Here we go. Let's use our highlighter. I've got an x squared term here and an x squared term here. I have an x term and I have a number and a number. Okay, my like terms, I have 2x squared, x squared plus x squared, 2x squared. That x doesn't have anything to combine with, so that's just plus x. And then 1, positive 1, negative 4 is negative 3, so minus 3. This final answer is 2x squared plus x minus 3. Let's do a subtraction one. Okay, get rid of the addition. Let's do a little subtraction. Okay. This is g minus f of x. It doesn't have to always be f first. This simply means that we're going to take g of x and we're going to subtract f of x. Okay. G of x is x squared plus x minus 4 minus x squared plus 1. These parentheses are important because I have a minus right there. We are actually going to subtract each of these things individually. I don't really need these, so I'm going to take them off. I'm going to distribute this subtraction to everything that's inside the parentheses. So this becomes x squared plus x minus 4 minus x squared and then minus 1. Okay, like terms once again. Okay, I've got x squared here and I've got a minus x squared here. Plain old x. And a negative 4 and a negative 1. So combining like terms to simplify. X squared minus x squared, those have canceled each other out. I've got x. Negative 4 and negative 1 is negative 5, so this becomes minus 5. Okay. Now then, division. I've given you a division problem that we're not going to have to worry about the domain, and we're also not going to have to simplify it. We'll do a little bit more of simplifying things when we study rational functions. But for now, let's see. Let's just do a division that we don't have to worry about that on. Okay, this simply means that g of x is divided by f of x. So g of x is x squared minus 4. X squared plus x minus 4. And then f of x is x squared plus 1. Okay? This doesn't factor so that I know that nothing up here can reduce with it. That right there is your final answer. For now, those division ones are our easiest ones. Notice I said for now. Okay, last one we're going to do is multiplying. It means we're going to be multiplying a binomial and a trinomial. And here we go. Remember, a letter touching a letter is multiplication. So this means that we're going to do f of x times g of x. Okay. F of x is x squared plus 1. G of x is x squared plus x minus 4. Okay, we could distribute this to each one of these one at a time, but I know most of my students like to multiply these using the box method. So let me just multiply those out using the box method. Not a long one this time. Okay, I'm going to put x squared and plus 1 right here. And then I've got x squared plus x minus 4. Change colors here. Okay, x squared times x squared. Let me remind you, because some of you struggle with this. X squared means x times x. And this x squared means x times x. So right here I'm doing x times x times x times x, which is x to the 4th. Okay? I've got x squared times x, which is 1, 2, 3 x's multiplied, so that's x cubed. I've got x squared times minus 4, so that's negative 4x squared. Right here, x squared times 1, that would be x squared. Feel like I've left something out. I don't think I have. Okay, then I've got 1 times x, that's x. 1 times negative 4, that would be negative 4 or minus 4. Okay, let's look at like terms again. X to the 4th, that's the only one of its kind. X to the 3rd, that's the only one of its kind. I have an x squared here and a negative 4x squared here. That's the only x, and that's the only numeric value. So let's combine things and write this out. I've got x to the 4th. I've got x cubed, and it's positive, so plus x cubed. X squared and negative 4x squared. That's 1x squared, okay? 1 and negative 4 is negative 3, so that's minus 3x squared plus x minus 4. Won't give you one this long, but it's always nice to throw in a multiplying polynomial review. Following this will be composing functions.